Do you struggle with quality night sleep or you experience bad dreams in your sleep? My name is Dr. Debbie. I'm a wellness coach and I'm a licensed provider in the United States. So today we are going to be talking about enjoying good quality sleep. And we should know, normal sleep, we encounter or experience two type of sleep every individual, whether young or old. It's just depending on the stage of life that we are that determines which one is more like the phase of life that we are. But generally, we have two phases, which is the non-rapid eye movement and the rapid eye movement. And what it means is that there's one phase that we go through phases, which is subdivided also into some portions. But during that phase, we are really, really deeply asleep. And the second phase is the rapid eye movement, and that is when we encounter dreams. And unfortunately, at times, that is when people experience bad dreams, nightmares, and all that. So during the non-rapid eye movement, as we've said, that is the time that we encounter deep sleep. The brain is really, really inactive as at that time, but our body is active. And as I said, the portion is like divided into other four portions. And the hormone that we needed to help us, to stimulate or get us into that stage, of deep sleep is the adenosine and melatonin. So during the time of the deep sleep, the brain is the hormone, especially in children, it is very essential. During that time, the brain is able to stimulate a lot of growth hormone that is necessary for children, to develop, grow, and then we see increase in size and length and all that. And during the deep sleep as well, for everyone, that is the time that our memory is consolidated, because our brain works like, we have a kind of file or different cabinets, that the brain is able to sort out all the files, every work we have done during the day, and then is able to put every thought into different compartments, like into maybe like learning, or maybe going through some work and all that, into short-term memory and long-term memory in different compartments of our brain. And as well, during this is the phase that the brain is able to regulate, metabolic regulation. And if people are not having good sleep, you will see them, like what we call insulin resistance. They are going to be they're prone to like developing diabetes. Those are the connections, because we have been saying the brain is the most important thing in our body, as human is the one that controls, all the other system overseas. So during this phase of sleep is when the brain itself is catching some rest, is getting some rest, and also even during that period controlling and doing some other vital functions, as human, in our brain and in our body. And during the rapid eye movement, which I said is the second phase, when the brain itself at this time is active, but our body is like, the muscle paralysis, we are not able to move it. And that is the time when we're having dream. If it is good dream, you're enjoying it. And unfortunately, some people, they encounter a lot of bad dream at that time. And as we have said, our muscle is awake, like, is yes, the brain, sorry, at that time our muscle is paralyzed, but the brain is like when we are awake. And that is when people are having night dream. They can wake up, with feeling afraid, feeling very terrified and all that, because the muscle of the body, the muscle is for movement, is paralyzed. And maybe like somebody is chasing them or they are running, because their physical muscle is paralyzed. In the brain, they feel as if, they are in danger. They are not able to run, from whatsoever they are encountering at that time. During the time of wakefulness, when we are alert, during the daytime, The hormones, the chemicals that keep us awake is the dopamine, the epinephrine, that is the noradrenaline, and then the serotonin, the happy hormone. But during the sleep, as I've said, is the adenosine and the melatonin that get us into sleep, and some other brain chemicals also, are in action during that time. So during this time, the brain is at rest. The brain and the body, are able to get some rest at that time. And but it is very important, if you are not getting good quality sleep, then that becomes a problem both for our brain and for our body, because of all the functions that I said have been going on during the time of sleep. So what are the common problems, sleep problems that people encounter, if they are not getting enough quality sleep? And that is why we're talking about it as a wellness coach, and a mental health provider, to be able to educate and guide, on what to do. One of the problems is the circadian rhythm, sleep week, a problem, especially when people move from one zone to the other, like, people in maybe like from North America, to like Asian or West. The time difference, they are in different time zone, maybe difference of 6 7 hours, 8 hours, 10, even some uh, like in the Far East, it can be up to 12 hours. So if you move, to another time zone, this affects your body clock, your circadian system, and the body or the brain is able to catch up, and then your sleep is interrupted. Also, which is most of the time referred to as jet lag, because you are moving, flying from one zone to the other. Also, people that are shift workers, different schedule, you are running night shift, and then during the day everyone is awake, because during the day we have more of the dopamine and the norepinephrine that keep us awake, and the serotonin. So but during that time, you want to sleep because you've been awake all night and your body is tired. But you know because it's yes, because of the process, then you struggle with that. And at times when you are off duty during the night, you are frustrated because you are not able to get sleep, because your body clock is that most of the time you are awake during the time when you are on your shift. Or maybe you like some that have a regular schedule, they are doing day shift today, the next week they are on night. The body circadian system gets confused and not able to know which of your body clock to follow, and they struggle with sleep, quality sleep, and a lot of sleep interruption. And also the third one is the sleep apnea, which happen in some people because of their neck, muscle relaxation is not relaxing enough, or some people is because of the large tonsils, the muscle around their neck, or the tonsils, that is a type of small organ part, around the tongue and the throat, is large. And when they are asleep, I've told you about the deep parts of sleep, when everybody, the body is relaxed, and then that organ or the muscle of the neck falls back, and it blocks, the pathway that the airway, it blocks your airway, the pathway that the oxygen is going to take from your nostril down to your lungs. So your sleep is interrupted because you are kind of choking, and the low oxygen, it interferes with the percentage, with the level of oxygen that is getting to your brain. So you wake up in the morning, you feel groggy, you feel tired, you feel exhausted, you don't it's like you feel frustrated. So, and this, such people, we need like sleep study. They will need their clinician to review them. And during the time of the sleep study, which is common, in the West, they are able to see the number of times that they are woken up because of that choking effect, because they are not getting oxygen into their lung and into their brain. So, such we need treatment depending on the outcome of the sleep study, yeah, for that. And then also there are some people, number four, due to restless legs syndrome. This is common among the Caucasian and most females, that it is genetic, and also it can be induced because of substance use like marijuana or smoking as well. So they are during the sleep, their legs just jerk, it moves involuntarily, and then it wakes them, interrupt their sleep as well. The number five is the teeth grinding, which is as a result of stress. When people have high level of stress, even at times during the wake time when they are awake, you see them grinding their teeth. You can see the muscle of the jaw, like moving, and they are grinding. You can even hear the sound as they are grinding. Children is common with them when they're having high fever, and they are very sick. But for adults, it's because of high level of stress that they can be grinding their teeth, during sleep, and this interrupts, with their sleep. And some also, it can be side effects of some medications as well. And then the number six is night terror. This night terror, it's common among children, and most of the time it happens during the non-rapid eye movement that I said. That is the time when we have the brain itself is asleep, and during that phase, like different portion of the non-rapid eye movement that I said, there is the phase that is not really very deep, but the individual is not conscious of what is going on. And it is a very overwhelming, terrifying situation. If you have been with somebody with night terror, they are not, aware of what is going on, and then they can be passing through a door, they are screaming, they are yelling because of, the memory of what they were seeing, but they are not fully aware of what is happening. So what to do in that instance is just to stay calm, because like if people respond also, or people are running up and down, it's triggered them, and then their senses interpret it as actually there is danger. So just stay with them quietly, and then this, of course, we need treatment, like mental clinician and all that. And as the children, they grow up, they overgrow it, they outgrow it, and then their sleep starts to become normal. But notwithstanding, treatment needed, and most of the times it can be due to intense trauma, maybe abuse and all that kids, have encountered, or some violent movies that they watch that is very terrifying. It can replay during their sleep time and can be causing night terror. The number seven is nightmares, which we've talked about, that during the dream time, the rapid eye movement sleep, that our people do the dream time, that people are able to have dream, and at times it could be bad dream, is because that is the time that we said that the brain is active but the muscles are paralyzed, and then the brain is like processing all the files. And if we've had an unpleasant encounter during the day, when that file gets to the process time, the brain, is trying to sort it out, and then because the brain is active, is able to bring out the actual memory or the actual incident that happened during that time, and then the person is awakened because the brain is actually awake that time, but it's our muscle that is paralyzed, and then the person wake up terrified and unable to run. Maybe like the encounter, maybe like somebody during the day saw something that is terrifying, maybe like a crawling animal or something frightening and all that. And now the same thing, but because the phase of the sleep, which is non-rapid eye movements, and the muscles are paralyzed, so the individual is not able to move, and then they are really terrified during that time. So also it could be due to substance use, it could be due to smoking and all that, and then we are able to work with people, counsel them, use different type of framework of therapy to help them. So what are the recommendations for all this sleep problem that we've talked about? Like people that have like sleep apnea, which is now physiological because of their neck, large neck, large tonsils, that they need to see their physician, maybe their primary care, their GP. And at times the recommendation is that their doctor can recommend like mouth gag, like and at times they use like surgery, or they use CPAP. It's a machine that they put it on their face and is able to keep their mouth open so that oxygen will continue to go through while they are asleep. Some people complain that it is not, that it's uncomfortable, it's unpleasant, but as technology, I've seen people that have had a smaller one, that instead of the one that is will cover the mask that will cover the entire face, it will just be on the nostrils and then the mouth, and it's able to put the upper and the lower jaw, the mouth, in place while the individual sleeps and gets adequate oxygen without their sleep being interrupted. Also, the general one for anyone for all this type sleep disorder, because we want to have good quality sleep, is sleep hygiene. It is very easy and yes, very easy and simple to follow. Number one, we have to be determined that we want to follow through, and because like we said, our circadian system, it's like retraining it that okay, we have to follow a pattern and be disciplined and follow through. One, we set up a regular time we want to go to bed, like maybe 10 o'clock, 11, and to ensure that we keep to that time, so our body, circadian system, our body clock gets used to that time. And also after that, we make sure we put all screen off, our TV, our telephone, our iPad, anything that will bring light, because once there's light, it gives the brain, pass the message to the brain that, oh, we're still alert, we're still awake, and that interrupts the sleep. And also we make the room cozy and dark and quiet. This will help us to relax and be in good state of mind and readiness for sleep. Also the temperature as well, and we make sure that we stop coffee or caffeine maybe like about 4 to 5 hours before. Most of the time we recommend the last coffee should be around 2 p.m, lunch, and for us to have good sleep that will not be interrupted because of the effects of coffee in our body. And depending on the temperature of where we live, if it is, we can have a shower, maybe warm shower or cold shower, just to make sure that we are relaxed and we are ready to sleep. By the time we do this regularly, our body gets used to it and is able to help us sleep. And this is one of the things that we do in our wellness coach, and then we guide you, and we are able to hold your hand. We are able to work with you with framework that is suitable for you, and then you can continue to enjoy good sleep. Because when we think about it in our world, if everyone is having good quality sleep, our world will be a peaceful place to be. Our functionality is going to improve, our productivity, quality of life, and the time together in the family, there will be less of friction and conflict, and generally, most accidents, because people they are not well rested, they didn't get quality sleep, that can impact their decision that they are taking, because it's the brain that is the decision making of all actions of man. So sleep is very important. Sleep is really, really, really of utmost importance to us as human, and this is one of the things that we do in our wellness coach. And my name is Dr. Debbie, and if you want to reach out to us, please send DM, send email, and like, comment, share that other people so can benefit. Until I see you in my next video, have a positive mind, mental health. Bye.